When we left off, we had just set out in our new boat Makara on a passage across the Pacific from Hawaii to Washington with a full set of crew on board.
Day we're on. It's probably like day 4.
I think only day 3.
True, the end of day 3 are now.
Going into day 4. Going into day 4, yeah.
Conditions are actually really nice. I mean, we haven't had much swell at all on this trip so far. Very kind of mixed seas because of the weather out here, but nothing really that much bigger than 3 feet. And we've had a pretty consistent 10 to 15 knots of breeze, maybe like 7 to 15 on occasions, but it's all been very north weather, northeast. If we're lucky, maybe just northeast. So that has our heading right now. We're on the kind of off. We're maybe like 100 miles north of Hawaii, mountains of Hawaii, and on the kind of parallel with the western shore of Hawaii, and 100 miles north of that. So we're a long way west. It looks like it should shift around. We'll have it on and off. It'll shift around between northeast and maybe some east weather before we finally find some, I don't know, maybe even a little bit of, maybe a day of sublease or something like that. Basically, we're trying to make a way to where we can find southerlies or westerlies. We're at latitude like 24.5 right now. We're hoping once we reach around about 30, we might see some changes in weather. Oh, what is that guy? Nice movie. Oh, you said that was the
white morph of the red footed.
Oh, there he goes. It's the most we've ever handled by far. We do not really have a working wind vane right now. We've been playing with the one that we had on here. Wind vane is difficult to get a good understanding of in port. You really need to be out sailing to crank them up. And this wind vane is a modified. It's an Atlantic wind vane S600, which I believe is like an auxiliary rudder similar to a hydro vane, but it's been modified into a pendulum rudder now, servo pendulum. A little bit of tweaking on that to see if we can actually make it work on here. No, we did manage to break a wooden rudder that we had fashioned for it. It's exactly what happened to the previous one on here before we bought it. And we did find last night in our adventures in the stern locker, investigating incoming water, we found 2 pendulum foils of some kind. I don't know what they're made from. They're like a hard, like composite, like plastic stuff. So we're going to play with those a bit today, see if we can actually get them to fit on there and maybe steer us a little. Cool.
Just finished our 4th night at sea, going into day number 5 here. Very calm night, really nice sailing, very light winds. It's been lightening up ever since the middle of the night. Matthew and I have been on watch since 3 hours before sunrise or so here. As the sun came up, we just shook out the reef we had in the main. Once the rest of the crew gets up, we'll probably take down this smaller working jib and put back up the 140% Genoa. Amazing how flat and calm it is out here. It's pretty crazy. We haven't been making a ton of mileage. Most of that's been because we've been kind of beating into the wind, which isn't the fastest point of sail. And also all the time we spent hove to the other day investigating those leaks that we had found. Well, it's been quite the eventful day with problems and problem solving. This evening we found some water coming in the stern and the aft cabin here. It was pooling on the floor. We could see it draining down from the stern locker, so we've been investigating to try to track that down. Good news is it's not coming through the rudder post, it's not coming through the scupper drains or anything like that, so we think it might be just coming from the deck. Nothing major that we know of. Yesterday we did spend some time bashing into the waves a bit, trying to make some good north progress, and we found the same problem, more water pooling up in the aft cabin. Tried to do some more investigating and there isn't a clear source, but it's not something that's really, I don't think, a concern. This would be nice to know where it's coming from. There might be a blockage somewhere that's preventing it from draining into the bilge, and that's why it's running up on that side when we heel over. Seems everyone's kind of settling into life on board. A few of the crew were a bit seasick, queasy the first couple days. Not too bad, but just not feeling great. But it seems that everyone's feeling a bit better now, which is good, and it's nice and calm, so that helps too. Is that your scarf, or are you going for a swim?
My towel. Bath time.
Go for it.
I don't wanna. That was poor. That was very horrible. Now I gotta do another one. Slowly working our way northwest.
Yeah.
We're at a heading of about 310 and we're making between 5.5 knots. Just the reside of the main, we've got the 140 up and doing what we can with what we have. Grab the system. Get the gas ready? Get the gas ready?
He's right there, you can see him.
Go, crack it, don't sit up. Hang on, careful.
Well, the good day has continued. We got a fish on the line in the back. We got a nice Dorado back there.
Well, Hillary meant Mahi Mahi, not Dorado anymore.
Oh yes, we're in Hawaiian waters.
Wrong
So
name.
Mahi, sorry. Reeled him in, got him. He's hanging off the back, or she's hanging off the back, I should say. We're so excited for fish for dinner. It's been too long.
Cleaning up the fish mess.
It's a good thing.
We made a mess.
No complaints. Hillary's filleting on the new fish fillet table. This is our first mahi, and we're throwing the remains, and we hope the albatross that's been following us maybe stops by for lunch.
So we've now been at sea for going on day 5. Finally got our first fish on board. We caught a nice big Mahi Mahi there. The sails have been dropped this morning. We went back with a full reefed main and also the 140 Genoa. So at night we've been going with the reef in the main and then also a smaller head sail. We've had the stay sail out now for 2 to 3 days non-stop. We just left that flying, and then we've changed the head sail between the 140 and the 100% working jib. That seems to be working out really well for us. Today looks like a very nice day so far, although we would like a bit of rain, so we can try a bit of rainwater catchment. But yeah, there's some clouds on the peripheral, nothing large out. I think yesterday we had that cold front pass over us that was on the weather charts. Not much else to say really. It's feeling better. The first couple of days were a struggle, as I think they always are. You got to get your groove in. We've got a crew on board that need to find their footing as well. Now everything's looking pretty good. Everyone's having a good time. I think everyone's happy to have some sunlight, be able to bathe up a little bit and get some fresh fish. There's the, I don't know if you can see the albatross here. We've had these 2 albatross with us now for about 3 days. So they seem to just keep following along. And then down below me is where we keep the sails here, because these are Hankton sails. We keep that 100% working jib on deck at all times. So the 100% working jib is just hanked on, always underneath the 140. We just need to bring the 140 down, unclip that, raise the working jib right away. And then the same thing for the 140. The 140 doesn't stay clipped on, but we bring the working jib down. We don't touch it, it just gets bricked up on the bow here. and then the 140 goes in above it. Works really well.
We just caught an albatross. Not good. We don't like to catch albatross. We like to catch fish. But luckily we hove to right away and he managed to get off himself. But there were 4 of them there and they were almost like fighting over the lure in the water. It's crazy.
You didn't even think he was hooked necessarily.
Yeah, we think they were just holding on to it really good. And
thought he had a fish and he wanted to let it go.
Yeah. So good news, we didn't hook him. He's free and we'll continue on. With no autopilot on Makara, we had been hoping to utilize the wind vane for a self-steering option. But so far, we weren't having any luck getting it working reliably. This South Atlantic S600 had been heavily modified by the previous owners and changed from an auxiliary rudder style to a servo pendulum style, with control lines running up to the center cockpit helm. There were several pieces to adjust the pivot and swing, but no matter what we did, it just didn't seem to work properly. We suspected this was due to the conversion, and after many days and hours of troubleshooting, we resolved to hand steering. This would be a long passage to hand steer, but luckily a large crew made this a much easier task. Thanks so much for watching, and a huge thanks to our patron Adrift crew who make these videos possible. Please remember to give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed. Until next time, aloha and adios!